Hello, and welcome to my fourth book critique. I am so excited to share all of the books that I've found with you. For my feature text, I chose Grand Canyon by Jason Chin. So this is a book that tells the history and characteristics of the Grand Canyon. Visually, the facts are told in the eyes of a young girl who is hiking with her father. We see her go back in time to learn about the Grand Canyon, how it came to be, and hike all around the canyon to discover even more facts about it. So for my first assignment, I used a science class for 8th grade students. In this assignment, students will be doing research on their own about their favorite natural land structure and presenting it on Google Slides. They would be presenting similar information that we saw about the Grand Canyon in the book The Grand Canyon, but about their own land structure. This includes things like how the land structure came to be, animals around it, where it is, and what is distinctive about it. They need to make sure that their presentations are simple but engaging and exciting because they will be presenting and teaching a classroom of 4th graders. So for my second assignment, I chose to use a 6th grade science classroom. I think this assignment would be particularly good for a remote classroom, similar to the way that our class is structured. So students would be charged with picking out their favorite fact that they learned about the Grand Canyon in the book, The Grand Canyon, and doing some research to aid and kind of beef up that fact, then presenting their fact with that extra knowledge on Flipgrid. They would then respond to at least two other students' videos. So here is my artifact video. You can see I created this Flipgrid account, and then here's the video I posted.
All right, guys. So one of the biggest facts that stood out to me in this book, The Grand Canyon, actually comes about on one of the first pages here. You see it with the little mountain line. And it says that the Grand Canyon is one of the largest canyons in the world. It is 277 miles long and as much as 18 miles wide and more than a mile deep. And so I heard that, and it said it's one of the biggest canyons in the world. And I thought to myself, that's pretty big in and of itself. So I wonder what is the longest canyon in the world. And the longest, I did some research and found out that it's actually the Tsangpo, Tsangpo Canyon, and that's in Tibet, and that's 300 miles. So that's not even that much longer than the Grand Canyon. So when they say it's one of the longest, it's like really, really close to being the longest. But that's what I found out. That was one of my favorite fun facts, and I am so excited to hear all of yours. So be sure to share all of your responses and comment on each other's. I would really love to see what you guys found interesting in this book, and then the research that you did outside of it to kind of aid your favorite fun fact. All right, see ya.
All right, awesome. So then moving on, for my second book, I chose the book Saturday by Oji Mora. This is an awesome book about all of the fun things this daughter gets to do with her mother on a Saturday because her mother is off work. I think my favorite thing about this book is the pictures because it's such a cool style where it looks like they're almost layered and cut out pieces of paper. My third book is Fly Away Home by Eve Bunting, and oh my goodness, this is such a sad book. This is about a homeless man and his son who live in the airport. I really love how this heavy topic is written from the perspective of a child, but that definitely does aid to the emotion of the story. So this is a great book, but even though it's a picture book, I would likely give it to a slightly more mature audience. My fourth book is Anani Mouse Writes Again. This book of poetry is super fun because it's about a mouse who also writes some hilarious poetry. So this is super fun to engage students and let them know that poetry can actually be really fun and even funny. For my fifth book, I chose For the Right to Learn. I was so excited to pick up this book because it is pretty much a picture book version of I Am Malala, which was my Lit Circle book. I love this book because it is short and uses pictures to empower and inspire young readers with Malala's story, even if they aren't advanced enough to read her chapter book. So for book 6, I chose The Cajun Night Before Christmas. This book is so awesome because it is written as if it is in a Cajun accent and uses some classically Southern things to take a twist on the classic A Night Before Christmas. I remember I saw a household sister in the library. She's from Louisiana when I was checking this book out, and she was so excited because she was like, I grew up on this book, and then started reciting the book in a perfect Cajun accent, so I thought that was super funny. My book 7 was Sylvester and the Magic Pebble. So this is a super fun book about a donkey who loves collecting pebbles and stumbles across a magic one. So then one day, through a bunch of circumstances, he wishes himself to be turned into a rock. So it's just a super fun and lighthearted book I think a lot of kids would love. My last book is Robert Frost. This is awesome because it was giving some background on Robert Frost's life and then includes some of his poems specifically curated towards kids. I love this because we're doing a lot of Robert Frost in my other classes, and his work is so awesome, and I think it's amazing how many youth-friendly poems he has.